Hello tennis otakus! In today's video, I want to talk about footwork in tennis. Footwork is one of the pillars of good tennis, and I'd go so far as to say that, in terms of importance for your game, good footwork should come first and good technique second. If your footwork is lacking, you'll compensate with your upper body and your ground strokes fluidity and form will suffer, resulting in hitting in the net, hitting long, or missing. If you listen to current and former pro players, they'll tell you that the roots of mistakes are mostly due to inefficient or downright bad footwork. Anyway, today's video was shot during a free hitting session with my friend Schwinn, so there was no pressure, just casual rallies for good exercise and some point play, but nothing too serious. So I had a lot of mental bandwidth to focus on some parts of my game, one of which was footwork. Now for you viewers, while watching the video, I want you to focus on my lower body, analyzing how I move around the court. I'm by no means a professional player, but in my opinion, good footwork is what separates beginner and amateur players from intermediate and more advanced players. So you'll see good and bad and terrible examples of footwork, and hopefully this video and my comments hold valuable insights for you to carry in your next 10 sessions. Before I give an analysis of my footwork in some rallies, let me briefly explain what good footwork consists of. It's quite simple in theory, but as with anything in tennis, it has to be consciously repeated countless times until it becomes second nature. 4 crucial things should be practiced in that order of importance. Number 1 is the split step, which is a small jump at the moment your opponent hits the ball. Number 2 is the recovery, which is going back to a neutral position on the court after you hit the ball. For beginner and amateur and recreational players, it would be behind the baseline at the center of the court, but if you're at the net, it's still at the center of the court. Number 3 is your movement towards the ball, and these are patterns that need to be learned and practiced so that you're always properly positioned before hitting. And number 4 is a little less talked about, but I think it's still quite important. It is bouncing in place while waiting for the opponent to hit. It keeps you alert actually and prepares you for the split step without thinking about it. Alright, now that you have a little idea about the elements of good tennis footwork, let's analyze a couple rallies. Alright, so in this first rally, it was pretty good footwork, even though there was a major miss at the end, but let's analyze this. So, as you could see, I'm moving towards the ball and I'm recovering. I'm split stepping, moving, and recovering. Split stepping, moving, recovering. Split step, move, recover. Split step, move, and recover. This sequence of movement is what makes good footwork, right? And as you can see, I'm quite dynamic on the court. I can move towards the ball, even though it can be far. I have decent speed, and then that miss. But I think besides that, the rally was great and my footwork was great. So let's move on to the second one. It's still very good footwork, in my opinion. As you can see, even though this first forehand was quite close to my body, my positioning was not good then. As you can see, the rest is pretty decent. I got good power, good movement, and the backhand came in the net. That is due to poor footwork. This next one is still good. As you can see, I'm still dynamic around the court, moving, recovering, and split stepping. This fourth one is also decent, but as you could see, I did not split step when Schwinn fed the ball to me, but then I did. I'm telling myself that I should split step, I should move around the court. So here I'm moving in, volley, right? Good movement. This one was a point where I started getting lazy. So you will see on one particular backhand, for now, it's quite decent. And this one, after this, you could see that I'm walking, and and this is just terrible footwork, just becoming lazy, and then I miss. Combination of all these things. Number 6, as you could see, I was not moving, and now I'm telling myself, okay, you should bounce, you should split step, bounce, exactly. So by bouncing, I'm not thinking of split stepping, it just happens naturally. And there's good movement still here. Still very good. So as you could see, as the time went by, I became lazy. So now it's even later, and here, lazy and bad footwork. So I was not even properly split stepping, I'm just walking, I split step. It's not great. It's not great. Here I should have moved back more to have it at the right height for me to hit. But it was bad. Here I'm recovering and I'm not even split stepping. And I had my heels on the floor, so I was not dynamic. That's why I hit in the net. This next one was decent and then it was bad. So as you could see, I'm still moving around the court. I still have decent movement, but I start to walk a little more. I start to walk much more than in the first rally. And this is just how it proves that you have to have stamina in tennis. This eats up your energy a lot, moving. And see, here I was convinced I had a winner, and then I stopped moving, Stopped moving, and then I had to get more energy all of a sudden. This one is decent. And I had proper positioning for the last winner forehand. So, by quickly analyzing those 8 rallies and my comments, I hope you've gained an understanding on how you can improve your movement around the court while playing. As you could see, as the time went by, I became lazier and less dynamic on the court. Besides fatigue, it also shows how the mental aspect is affected as I was making mistakes too. So it can become a vicious circle. That's why tennis is such a demanding sport, as you have to always be on the move. What I recommend you to do in your next sessions is to choose only one aspect of your game that you want to improve at a time, otherwise you'll be overwhelmed and you won't improve at all. For footwork, for instance, you can decide to focus on properly executing the split step for the first 30 minutes of your session, and then for the next 30 minutes, for example, on recovery. One thing I always tell myself when doing those free hitting sessions is that I consciously repeat to myself that I should split step and not focus on anything else, if I choose to focus on the split step. It's difficult, but that deliberate focus will improve chosen aspects of your game very quickly. One final piece of advice: the next time you watch a professional tennis game, whether on YouTube or in tournaments, pay close attention to players' legs and their movement. It was an advice that I received when I was in a club as a teenager, and it's incredibly valuable. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Leave a comment if you found it valuable or have anything to add to my comments. If you know someone who will find this video useful, please share it. Until next time, happy improvement!